Welcome back, everyone, to episode 314. I have a shulker monster. Yeah, quite a bit of materials are going to go into building this lighthouse, and the tutorial is very detailed and extensive, so I don't want to take away from the traffic of that build. So I'm just going to show a little bit of how to start the base of it, and then we're going to go into a bit of a break where I jump in and show you some progress that have been made, and we go from there. Might do another couple of breaks through this build just to make sure that I don't take away from the original creator's content. I want you guys to watch that video because Melty does an amazing job at showing how to build this. I'm just going to be adding a couple of tweaks in here and there to make it easier for my device to properly showcase the build because it is a functional lighthouse. Let's get in on it. All right, first things first, I'm going to need some dark oak. I need my axe. I'm going to need... Ironically, that should be enough of those, but I also need to make a couple of other things. So let me pull up my image here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and preemptively make a bunch of those, a bunch of these, and I need 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That'll be enough of the gates. I don't think there are any other gates in the build, so that will be done. This is the spruce box. I can put... Well, actually, I need a bunch more of the other kind of thing. I need 16 of those. Well, that's going to have to do. So we can put those away now. Pretty good on these for the moment. And now it's a matter of getting the deep slate prepped. So why I have this, I need to turn these all into walls. I'm going to start this off right here. Trying to do this backwards is difficult for my brain. Okay, right. So we want to do that. Do this. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Strip all of that. And we want to mirror that on this side. Perfect. Next up, I want to get those out of here. I am doing this so out of order just to make things a little more fair for the original creator. This is not how their tutorial goes, but it ends up looking identical anyway, so it's fine. Going to light up the base before we get too far because this is not creative. This is in fact survival, and I would like to not have to stress about that. Okay, good there. Now I need to go skip one over here. Actually, that needs to have one. Just, we're going to ignore that one for now. Believe this is the orientation everything needs to be in. 1, 2, 3. This looks correct. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we're already up 1, and it needs to go 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and simple. Put those right there. Sticking out just a bit. Trying to burn through materials as I need them. That way I don't have to stress about finer details of the finished product. Hello, chicken. Would you like to help me build? You are now a builder chicken. 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's on lunch break. Okay. Oh no, he came back. Good builder chicken. You get a raise of 2, 3, 4, and 5 blocks. Do this. Put you sticking out. I'm not worried about the sounds I just heard behind me, because I have a wall that goes all the way around here and nothing can even get to me from the ocean. And those guys are not going to spawn on land. So I'm safe. It's a dangerous word in Minecraft for the most part, but I have made this the safest island in the entire world. So we're not going to stress. Hitbox. Thank you. All right, one more side to do. And we're going to do one out. Go here. Pop this torch out. One out. Go here. All of this has to be stripped, by the way. And I'm going to have to grab some more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Gently down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gently down. We're pretty much finished with the deep slate at this point. Let's go ahead and get you connected up. And then we don't have any more fence gates. And then we can plunk in our lanterns, which will be necessary for the remainder of this. Oh, chicken gave me an egg. Nice. You get a promotion, builder chicken. Don't ask me what it is, but you get a promotion. I said don't ask me what it is. Oh, now he's getting aggressive. Okay, I see how it is. I rescind my promotion. See if I can land on this, because that's going to make this infinitely easier. Oh! I can't believe I did that first try. To be honest, I genuinely can't believe that. I've had so much lag in the last couple episodes. You should definitely be able to put these out while crouched, but I see you, Minecraft. I see you. Again, I am doing this on recording at the moment because I am changing up how everything is done. Just enough that I am not technically taking their content. I'm not trying to do that in any way. I'm trying to showcase other ways you could also build this amazing lighthouse. And I will be linking in the description the original content. I am simply trying to expand everyone's ability to see these builds. I mean, YouTube's algorithm doesn't work the best for everybody, so this series will serve as a catch-all for everything cool that you could possibly want. Alright, so that is all for the campfires. Those are now done. I am now going to organize this by things that I don't need. Those go over there now. I don't think there's any more deep slate, so that's going to go over there now. These are going to be necessary for the entire thing. That's not even a question. Alright, where did I put my stuff? Got it. That is a spruce one, which I should actually have. I do. Wait. Yep. So we're going to put this hanging from down here. This is going to read Lighthouse. Designed by Melthy on YouTube. Perfect. Size that appropriately. That is the finished product. That will not be going anywhere. Actually, path this up as well, because we don't start the actual build until we get to the center point here. I'm going to do a little bit of a cut here, and we're going to showcase what it looks like with the walls and floor of the first level in. I will see you all on the other side of that. All right, first pause break over, and you guys get to see the first level nearly completed. I am missing a couple bits and bobs for some detail's sake, but for the most part, it's in. So let's give you a little tour. We have this little entranceway, and I have added my chains and sign before the pause. I've also added in a door and a pressure plate, so I don't have to stress about leaving it open. And these little chairs and dining area was actually included in the original design, but I don't have the piece that goes for the actual table part or the things that go on it aside from the lantern. And it's also the only light that's currently in here because I do have to stretch things around here and add in the ladders. That would make it decidedly easier to get around here and build the rest of this particular lighthouse. Yeah, we're it's a work in progress, but I'm gonna get back to work and see you when we have a little more done. Also, there's a drowned over there that's trying very hard to be important, but he's just not. Anyway, we'll see you in a few minutes when we have another couple bits done and potentially the second layer started. See you then. It has taken far longer than it should have to get to this point, but I have been kicked from this realm maybe 10 times in the last 20 minutes. I am very glad I'm doing cuts for this because there's parts of it that would be unwatchable otherwise. But it is finally 2/3 done. I have the bottom floor completely decorated and the top, well, the middle floor completely decorated. And now I have to work on the third level platform and the actual light part of the lighthouse. And apparently I have a cow overseer. Alright, let's go. The tutorial has a compass here. I opted to put a spyglass here just because one, it's a lighthouse, and two, I didn't have a spyglass handy, and I was not going to bother crafting it after all the garbage I've been through in the last 20 minutes. But I have the chairs in, I have these tables in. I'm not sure if I want to change the flowers, but for right now, they're fine. There's nothing in any of these chests at the moment. But if I come up here, you might notice a difference from the tutorial in how I have these laid out. They're elevated instead of flush because I, for the life of me, could not get these to cooperate and allow me up. So I had to have it go all the way up to the bottom of this block and then have this be on top of it. Yeah, it's annoying. But all of the barrels situation are in. The thing is, I don't have note blocks at the moment, so I went ahead and swapped them out for just planks. And I added in my ender chest because you know I have to have my ender chest access. And up there is where I'm going to be putting in the next level. So I'm going to get working on that. And I'll see you guys when we have another platform to show. Be right back. Progress report. We have another layer, and I am working on the roof in just a moment. We shall start working on the redstone bits. Right, notice we have the platform started, and we're going to start putting in the cage where all of the redstone is going to go for the light sources, and thus all of the fun parts of a lighthouse. Let's go ahead and go in here, where we have all of our stuff moved in here for the build. I've even started adding in the light sources in the room, so we don't have to worry about, dying immediately. I'm just going to try and get myself sorted. I don't think I'll need that much spruce, so I can put that one away. That should probably be converted into planks. Yeah. I'm going to try and get this finished within this episode, so I will showcase a little bit more of it once we get the roof and all of the redstone in, because that'll be fun to show off. See you soon. And just like that, the build is complete. Whew. You guys only had to sit through 18 minutes of this. This took me a couple hours. But yeah, the lighthouse is done, and I think it looks awesome. I have added in this lever here for when I inevitably unload the chunk and kill the redstone signal and I want to start it back up again. But that won't do me much good to demonstrate that during the daytime, so I'm going to have to wait on that. So I am going to come down here, scoop up all of my goodies. This goes in the spruce box. You're going to stay here. And then we're just going to pick all this up so we can get a nice visual of what this thing looks like. I think I'm going to leave this stone cutter here because it's not really hurting anything, and if I need to fix something, I'd rather have it here. You, however, need to be closed. All right, so that's done. Close the trap doors. Make sure I'm not leaving anything inside. We're good to go. We can come out and get a good first look at the completed build. Now, berry bush. It's still going at the moment, so I'm not going to complain. But let's get a better look at this. We'll go up here. I think we want to go up to the third level to get a really good view of this. Oh yeah. That is a good vantage point to see into this beautiful lighthouse designed by Melty. Thank you very much for submitting this to the community for a tutorial. I am very happy with this. It's not textured as well as yours is, to be fair, but I could not be happier. I have added in a little bit of texture on the roof as though, you know, the weather would affect the wood in some way. Birds would come by and leave their mess up on top of it. You can't really tell if they did it on the diorite, so I had to leave it somewhere noticeable. So it kind of works to have splotches up there. Although for some reason I could not get the bottom row of any of those carpets to go too high. I'm not quite sure why, but they just wouldn't. So I think that this is done, and I am quite happy. See if I can get a better vantage point up here. Maybe from the outer part of the roof. Yeah, where we don't have fences in the way. Well, that is a great thumbnail shot. So I know where to come to get that. Yeah, you know what? You guys have stuck around with me this entire time. Let's go ahead and have you present for the thumbnail. If the game will load. That, and I'm just going to take it on OBS. Make sure I don't have those squigglies in there. Ah, the squiggly showed up. Curse. It's a pain whenever you eat one of these apples because it gives you so many effects that the squiggles are so random. When you're trying to get a thumbnail shot, you really can't get away with it without having a pixel of it in the frame at some point. That one can go away. That one can go away. Let's try again. Oh, perfect frame. Not a squiggle in sight. Beautiful. Potion effects gone. All right. Let's turn all those settings back on. Doot, doot, doot. All right. Now we can play. Sweet. Glide down around here. I still have to figure out what I want to put in this section. I thought about moving the tribute up here because I think it would fit perfectly. But then it would only have one side of real access because this is kind of elevated and Plus it would take away from the full frontal of this lighthouse as well as my tower, so I'm not sure I want to do that. It's quite tall. Not tall, but average. I thought about doing a secondary one of these way over there, like right next to the Eagle Tower, where all of my flowers are generated from my uh, absurd flower farm. Thank you again, by the way, to Silent Whisperer for providing that stackable farm. I went a little bit too heavy with it, and it kills my Switch every time I try to use it. So I have to do that from the PC whenever I want to try and run it. I am very much liking the way this is developing into more of a park feel than simply having a bridge with a couple of barely visible frogs. The park benches should never be the high point, you know? So I'm glad that the gazebo is the high point. And this is a nice thing to walk into. You ever take the chicken and the pig? That is a nice view. Sorry, MC Noodler. They just don't quite cut it in regards to comparison between statue and build. I'm trying to frame this area for a nice thumbnail down the line. So far, I think we're doing pretty good. gonna have to sleep in a moment just to make sure I don't have spawns. This is a good spot, provided I can click the bed properly. Alright, now let's walk up to this build, because I have to grab those boxes that are on the front lawn anyway. Interesting that you can kind of see it through my elevators. We're gonna come up this hill. Nice. Fantasy style lighthouse. Originally, I was gonna have it, by the ocean on the other side, but that's not really an ocean. It's more of a very deep lake that has a bunch of cave systems in it, and I'm not quite sure how extensive they are. Barely fit every box. Nice. Now I don't have a mess out here. That said, my next build project is going to be out this way, because I found a really cool barn by Gold Robin. And that is going to be placed right here in this isolated spot. There wasn't really a good amount of things that I could think of to put in here, and anything that I would have thought of was a bit too large. So, yeah, I decided to just keep looking, and eventually I found the barn. And it fits perfect, literally perfectly. I can't wait to show you next episode. But I think that we have done enough for today. So thank you all for watching, and nice little silhouette of that in the background. Have a good rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next episode.